Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, it's draft day 3, and we're going to be kicking off in about 50 minutes from now. And you know, it's funny because when you really got something to do, it's always something that happens that throws a wrench into the whole situation. Yesterday, I had planned on being home all day, getting ready for the draft and everything else, but I had to go down to Waynesboro and take care of some maintenance issues. So I had to drive 280 miles and stuff down there, put up a storm door, fix a railing, and yada, 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 and get back home. Got back home, worked on getting set up and everything else, getting some chicken wings and things for the draft, and we got that squared away. So got up this morning, and I've got a touch of a sore throat. I think my wife's cold or flu that she's had is finally trying to attack me, but I'm not claiming it. I'm trying to fight this thing because this is an important weekend. This is the draft. And so I'm getting up, getting stuff ready. We're going to do some bang bang sliders and stuff. I forgot and left the Dak Prescott shirt at Lucky's along with my whiteboard, so I've got to go over and pick that stuff up this morning. And the dishwasher isn't draining. The dishwasher isn't draining. So I've gone through and I've started taking that apart, and I think I figured out what it is. There's a little ball floating there that's sticking, and the screens were all covered, so I got to get a brush to kind of fix that. So I'm running out to the store because I need some rolls for the sliders, because I know E2's going to be like, where's the bread for the sliders? And get that together. So I'm working it, guys. I'm working it. I never stop working. So we are here on the 3rd day of the draft. Now, this is important because, see, this is where you need to find depth, and sometimes you get lucky and you find future stars. We've been lucky in the later rounds finding like Dak Prescott and things like that. I know some of you haters are out there will say, yeah, right, who gives a crap about Dak Prescott? He ain't all that, this, that, and the other. But you know what? You can go pound sand because you're going to hate him regardless. But this is where you find the depth and guys that are going to play valuable minutes and stuff for your team. Now, Stephen Jones went and said, you know, hey, basically, there's real good corners, there's some good safeties, there's good running backs that are on the board still. And that's true. Because if you take a look at some of the players that are out there, we think about the Legion of Boom. The Legion of Boom was incredible. Chris Richard built that defense. But there's only one guy in there was the #1 pick. That's Earl Thomas. Cam Chancellor, 5th round draft. Let me say it again. 5th round draft pick. And what I will say this, because I know E2 and everybody else was disappointed about not getting the safety, but understand what Chris Richard did in 1 year with Byron Jones. Byron Jones, we were getting close to using the B word on him. Of saying that maybe this guy is not that draft pick that we think he is. But look at how he turned it around. And he would have ended up being one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL if not for the hip flexor. It slowed him down in the second half, but he still was a top 6 cornerback. So he's got George Iloka, and they are high on George Iloka. And the thing that people don't really talk about much is one thing that Chris Richard likes is he likes length in guys. He likes taller guys. In fact, the Cowboys in general, even the defensive linemen, like taller guys that are athletic. And George Iloka is that kind of a guy. So you may end up having the Rod Marnelli effect where they take a George Iloka and make him a lot better than what he is. Because clearly, let's be honest here, everybody out there on that defensive backfield took a step forward. Nobody went backwards on that. And if you can get George Iloka to take a step or two forward, you've got a decent guy there. But what's going to also help them too is this defensive pass rush. We got better on the defensive line. Make no mistake, Robert Quinn is a hell of a lot better than Randy Gregory. And with Tristan Hill, that's another guy, another young guy that you're going to have Rod Marnelli get in there and coach up some more and get him, get the most out of him, along with now Tyrone Crawford, along with Antoine Woods, along with Malik Collins. You got a rotation of guys where you can put wave after wave after wave of bodies to go against those offensive lines, because you get used to playing against one player. You know his tendencies, you know his moves, but then you start playing against another guy, and it's the unknown. You got more things to prep for. And make no mistake about it, the thing the Cowboys are learning, and it's a big shift in philosophy, where we used to just concentrate and say, we've got some great players, we've got 8 or 9 guys that are sucking up all the money and that are great. And then we end up having a major drop-off when you lost one of those guys. When you lost a Tyron Smith, you went to a Chaz Green. Right now, you lose a Tyron Smith, you go to a Cam Fleming. You lose a Travis Frederick, you go to a Joe Looney right there, or now even a McGovern. You lose a Zach Martin, you got a Joe Looney, you can shift things around, and you can end up taking Connor Williams. So you've got wave after wave that you don't lose one guy and end up falling apart. And that's where we are on the defensive line. If you end up having D-Law slow out the box, well, you've got more guys that you can move around and can cover and take up the slack. So even if that safety isn't, one of the guys we looked at, Thornhill or, one of the other guys that were top ones out there, I think they made the calculated decision that we'd rather make sure that we take care of the defensive line, because we can get a guy that we feel is going to help us more in the rotation. So that's where I think the Cowboys are looking. So definitely look for running back, cornerback, safety today in the draft. We got 4 picks, and I can't wait. Can't wait to get this thing on. Hopefully, I still got to finish fixing that dishwasher. Or it could wait, but still need a brush so I can scrub it while I get the boiling water in there. But hopefully I'll get back by 12 o'clock so I can at least get the stream going. And then I'll have to actually cook my chicken wings and bang bang sliders after the fact. But I think I'm going to wait until we start getting people there, because E2 Blue, the wings sat there for 2 hours before we even touched them. So ain't no rush to get into it. It's amazing, because right now everybody's saying the Green Bay Packers, they've had a great draft. The Washington Redskins, they've had a great draft. And they may have. But it's always funny, because we always deem these teams that have done so well in the draft, they really fixed themselves. They put themselves in a position to make a big run and this, that, and the other. And I was saying last night, think about the 2016 draft. Basically, they gave us like a C minus. Some people gave us a C plus, but it wasn't, a great grade, because they said, Zeke Elliott, you don't take a running back that early. That's a mistake. Dak Prescott, he might be a quality backup. Jalen Smith, he's may never play again, and the Cowboys just stunk it up. On the flip side, they said the Buffalo Bills, A minus. They did a great job. They traded up, got a linebacker and everything else, and all the guys that they got on there. And guess what? From that draft, only a linebacker is left for the Buffalo Bills on the team. Everybody else is either out of football or they're on another team 3 years in. So don't get too bent out of shape about what the experts say about our draft. Okay? Don't go through and say, oh my God, we suck because we got a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman. The experts say that, listen, they miss. They're wrong more than they're right. And you really have to wait 3 years before you can really evaluate a draft class. And that's the truth. You really have to wait 3 years and see what happens. For the most part, I mean, Michael pointed out to me, well, we drafted Taco, so they suck. Well, okay. You drafted Taco, but you know what? You drafted Dak. You drafted Zeke. You drafted Travis Frederick. You drafted Tyron Smith. You drafted Travis Frederick. You drafted Van Der Esch. You drafted Byron Jones. You drafted DeMarcus Lawrence. You drafted Jason Witten. Nobody is 100 out of 100. But in the NFL draft, If you can get half of your draft class to stick and play valuable minutes, you're above the curve. So let me get in Lucky's and grab the shirt and my whiteboard and get to the grocery store, and then get back to the house, get the stream going, and then get some wings and some shrimps cooking. See you guys soon.